Good morning, guys. Um, yeah, I promised you I'd keep it real, so here we are being real. Um, uh, I lost my pupper yesterday. He was my whole heart. Um, it wasn't peaceful. He's been declining over the past, I'd say, month or so, and he stopped eating. The doctor said he was recovering from kennel cough. Um, it turns out that in all likelihood it was some type of cancer. Um, he stopped being able to walk steadily. So we brought him back to the vet yesterday, and the vet gave him an appetite stimulator and took some blood and an x-ray and saw that he had fluid in his abdominal cavity. So none of that was good news, but we figured we'd wait until we got the blood back today or tomorrow to make a decision. So it was like noon. So he came home. He seemed a bit peppier than he had been. My husband was making chicken nuggets for lunch, and he was smelling around. He wanted a chicken nugget, which was funny because he wasn't eating anything except people food. He managed to pull it together for people food. And I gave him a piece of cheese because he loves cheese, and I gave him his medicine, his appetite stimulant, and he had some bad mats behind his ears. He was a doodle, so I trimmed those out, and he said he had to go outside. Gestured, so I let him out. We watched him go down the stairs because he was pretty unsteady. And he came back up the stairs pretty steadily, and we were like, oh, okay, he's doing all right. So he walked through the door to come back into the house. And once he got into the house, right over the sill of the house, he collapsed. He kind of leaned against the door that was open towards the wall, and just collapsed. And very shallow breaths, and we could feel that his heart was racing. And then he took a couple more shallow breaths, and he was gone. And the whole time, my husband and I were on the floor with them, wondering what was going on, but petting him. And we finally figured out he was gone. So we wrapped him in a blanket, the blanket that was on the couch that he used to rest his head on whenever he could get up on the couch, which was like a week ago, and brought him to the vet so that they could, we could get his cremation started. And the vet that we had been seeing for years actually saved his life for us about 7 years ago. He was diagnosed with some bad intestinal problems, like the dog equivalent of irritable bowel disease. He's been on major medicine for the past 7 years. So the vet that we used at the practice we went to has left. And we got this, my husband took him to the vet all the time because I was too emotional to go. I never wanted to hear something that was going to be wrong with this dog because I knew that this would happen. And as he was getting older, I mean, he was 13. As he was getting older, I was bracing myself for this because I knew it was coming. He's 13. For the past couple of years, as I was putting up the Christmas tree, and I would put his ornament on our Christmas tree, I would think, this could be the last year with him. And this year that hit pretty hard. So I brought him to the vet, and the vet that we had been using or had been seeing him lately, for lack of a better word, is a callus prick. Very clinical. Not really good, because he didn't catch any of this. Not that it would have made any difference. Let's be clear about that. There's nothing he could have done to save him. But it would have, I think that we would have made a decision earlier to put him down had we known it was this bad, so that he wouldn't have like a freaking acute heart attack in my kitchen. And so, you know, my husband helped them bring him in, and the vet came into the room because we had he had just been there about 45 minutes before for his visit, and now he's dead. So the vet came in and he's like, yeah, we've checked. He is deceased. I'm like, what? What? So my husband had known he's a callous prick, and you know, my husband's a very patient guy, so he kind of was like, okay, but now at this moment, I think he was risking getting punched. And he proceeded to clinically absolve himself of any and all fault that could be placed on him. He's explaining to us, you know, he had this abdominal fluid, it was probably cancer, blah, blah, blah. We're like, none of this matters right now. None of it matters. None of it matters. Just fucking say you're sorry. Say it was a pleasure helping us or knowing our animal, and be compassionate. And there was none of it. There was none of it. It was very clinical. And at the very end of the conversation, I mean, I said, you know, I explained how it all went down, and I was like, do you think it was quick? And he couldn't even like give me, I mean, at that point, just lie to me. I mean, I'm in a puddle in your office. Just do something compassionate. So he just looked at us and went, I'm sorry, and walked out of the room. The techs were, I think they know that he's a prick, so they were very compassionate. They asked us if we wanted a paw print, if we wanted to go see him again. We had blood work that we had just gotten done literally an hour ago, so of course they said, I'm assuming you don't want us to process that. Like, why? Would it give us a clue as to what actually was wrong with him? What kind of cancer he had? Probably, but like, again, that doesn't really matter. So we signed all the paperwork, and the vet techs asked me if I wanted the blanket that he was wrapped in back, and I said yes. So I wanted something that smelled like him. So we came home, and, you know, walking into the house after losing, he was such a presence. He was so goofy, and he was really part human. You know how doodles, if you have a doodle, you know. And, you know, walking into the house and not having him there at the door, and having the Amazon guys come and not having him losing his mind. he would sit on the couch every day and look out the window and just guard, just keep an eye on everybody and everything that came into the neighborhood, and any car that looked like ours, whether or not we were home or not, he would lose his mind because yay, his owners were coming home again. Yeah, my husband and I have been doing nothing but cry for the past almost 24 hours now. And I can't get out of bed. I knew that when this happened, I was going to be gutted. I knew it. 7 years ago when we almost lost him, I knew it. I knew that this would be the result. And I am blessed in the fact that I'm not working, and I haven't been working since last spring. So I was able to be home with him every day, and that's time that, you know, I'm glad we had. And I'm glad I was here. I'm glad we were both here when he passed away. And I have a cat who's been through 2 dogs with us now, and he's 18, and he'll be the next one. And he's looking around for him. They used to share a water bowl. They used to both drink out of it at the same time. So this is wrecking me. It is. And, you know, desperation. I'm in the middle of the night sleeping on the couch where he used to sleep, clutching his paw print, and on TikTok looking for pet psychics just to get some closure. And, you know, I don't know who's going to rip me off and who's not. And I know these people have to make a living and stuff, but, you know, it's just, when someone's hurting this bad, it's nice to just answer one question, just help them get through it, not just throw dollar signs at them at the first chance you get. So I think I'm gonna, instead of talking to somebody that may or may not be legit or ripping me off, I think I'm just gonna put that money towards getting a cuddle clone so I can hug him every night again, and he can be on my bed without hurting. And until I had big plans, I'm taking a course, and I was gonna finish up all my coursework, but I think this week is just gonna be a wash. I think this is just gonna be me. I just gotta get through all this. And his urn came today. I ordered it yesterday after he passed, so, you know, there was that. Amazon came, there was no barking, and it was his urn. So, all right, well, I know a lot of you can relate to this, and again, I'm just devastated and shot, and I'm gonna try and get some sleep, maybe, but anyhow, thanks for listening.